When all you want is football.
20, 15, 10, and bounces his way into the end zone. Touchdown!
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 1250.
And I thought we were in total control that in overtime, obviously the penalties and the things, very, very, very frustrating. But that's, you got to overcome those things.
They didn't overcome those things, and we're all very, very, very frustrated with the way the game ended yesterday. Cowboys lose at Lambeau to the Green Bay Packers. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix, the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and AM 1250. Let's talk about it with Swagoo. Marcus Spears, former Cowboy first-round draft pick and analyst at ESPN on NFL Live. Most emotion I've seen from Mike McCarthy in a long time, Marcus. The frustration level. Take us into the locker room with a loss like that.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult. It's tough because, one, there was a large part of that game in the second half where you felt like you had a lot of control. And not that you were going to cruise your way to a win, but all you had to do was continue to execute. And then for it to go the way it did with specific calls, not converting on the fourth down, which I'm not mad about the fourth down call at all. The pass interference that should have been called. But more importantly, man, just the performance, especially from the defense, which is supposed to be the actual heart and soul of this football team. And so a lot of things, man. And then, for Mike personally, like you can try to downplay it, but he was back in Green Bay after being fired from that place. Was going to be able to say I went back and won where they let me go. So it just I know some of that was personal for him, and then just the team's performance coming out of a bye week especially.
Marcus, there's a lot of things that are frustrating about yesterday's game that we can talk about, but what concerns me the most is the run defense. Chicago exposed them with the runs, but that's kind of what they do. But Green Bay, with what they were able to do yesterday, as a defensive guy, how do you fix that?
Yeah, man, it's a lot of attention to detail. It's a lot of the crazy thing about the NFL now is guys don't consistently play the run anymore. And we're going to have a talk about that tomorrow on our show on NFL Live about how the league is kind of morphed back into actually when I played, where it was a lot of zone stretch and teams were running the ball 30 times a game. And fellas, I looked at the tape. I watched this game at least 3 times already so far. It was so undisciplined up front, such bad technique. And that's just reps. That's just understanding that one guy can change it from being a loss, a tackle for loss, or a 2-yard gain or a touchdown. And I'm sure that when they review it, they're going to be kicking themselves because a lot of it was just poor technique and not really paying attention to detail on those runs that continue to come out. So, man, I don't know. I can't tell y'all how many times that was just there from the beginning. Damn near before Aaron even tossed the ball, it was blocked up. And it was just a lot of guys, man, that played bad. And I don't know if it's because of repetition. When I played for the Cowboys, we used to have a drill, a part of practice that was called 907. And basically what that was it was 9 offensive guys against 7 defensive guys, and it was all run game. And you had to fit gaps well. You had to play blocks for an extended period of time because there was no pass. So plays would develop and had to see if you would get impatient and try to jump a gap or try to get off a block too early to make plays. All of that was going on. A lot of dudes went rogue. A lot of them played bad and a lot of false steps, a lot of disengaging too early. It was just a piss poor performance up front. And I'm gonna really put it on the defensive line because a lot of times they could have controlled a lot of what was going on.
Spot on analysis from Marcus Spears here on the Blitz. Piss poor is a great way to describe that, my friend. And honestly, and I think about the defense, the secondary, especially after Anthony Brown got hurt. But I look at the offense, and Dak Prescott wasn't good yesterday at all, especially on third down. And while he was off, especially high on a lot of his passes, I couldn't believe the play calling from Kellen Moore, the discrepancy with the number of pass plays versus the number of run plays. When they were having success in the run game, it was almost like they regressed back to the first game against Tampa Bay, or even some of what we saw last year.
Yeah, Kellen not gonna get a pass from me, fellas, and I don't know what the hell Kellen Moore thinks during these games. I don't understand it. They had a possession, I think, either after halftime or right before halftime, where he threw a quick out to Gallup. Jair Alexander tackled him. Then he ran a whimsical run game, and that was like a 2 or 3 yard gain, and just became conservative and vanilla. And then to your point, he wants to start tossing the ball around the yard all day long. Guys, the Cowboys, after the Cowboys got a 28-14 lead, how many times do y'all think they ran the football?
It didn't seem like many.
Just give me a wild guess.
Seven. 10.
Y'all right there. 6 times.
6 times.
6 runs. Tony Pollard was averaging 5 yards a carry. and it was not difficult. It was not anything about the run game that was difficult that the Cowboys were doing. They were blocking well. The backs were finding holes. They were doing everything that you want to do in order to be able to close out a game from a run game situation. And they just, and I don't know, man. Malik Davis averaged 7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So I just, like, it's so many people, right? Like, I'm a defensive guy, so naturally I wanted to see what was happening up front. But this is my problem that I run into with Kellen Moore every single year. And that don't mean you lying down and run the ball 40 more times, but why can't you be balanced? Like, why can't you at least find some semblance of balance? And if the run game is working, why stop running it? Green Bay didn't.
No.
They never stopped. They didn't even stop when they were down 14. And we stopped when we were up 14. I mean, I don't understand going through that game. Where is another coach or Mike McCarthy, which I'm not trying to blame, but he deserves some blame. Where is the coach in the headset saying, run the damn football? Where is that? If Cooper Rush would have been playing in that game, he would have ran the damn football.
Yep.
So I just every time I gave Kellen Moore credit for what he did when Cooper Rush came back. When Cooper Rush was playing, I credited him when Dak came back and they continued to run the football and turn the football. And don't tell me nothing about Zeke Elliott wasn't playing. Both of your backs were averaging 5+ yards a carry in that game. I don't give a damn if it was me and y'all. If we averaging 5 yards a carry, you keep running the football, man. So it's a lot of blame to go around. But Kellen Moore, to me, man, I don't know if it's late in season. Remember, guys, last year, this 12-4 football team that got pass happy at the latter part and started losing a lot of games. And then when it comes to Dak, we have to concede that Dak is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He can have great moments. He can have moments that are very high. But Dak is he's a good quarterback that you can win with, but you have to have other things working. He's not – his resume says against elite quarterbacks or when we have certain situations where we got to have it or we got to make plays, he's delivered in some of those moments, but the majority of his resume is that he don't get it done. And I don't know, man. It's frustrating as hell.
I can hear it.
Yeah,
it's okay. That's what we're here for.
It's a therapy. It's a therapy Monday here on the Blitz.
That's right. That's what we're here for, Marcus.
Just to revert back to the things that made you lose, and I just don't understand that. for the life of me. If Green Bay was going to line down and run it with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, even when they weren't having success initially and then they start turning yards, why wouldn't we with a 14-point lead?
It makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense, Marcus. It doesn't. And what concerns me now is that you got a couple of good running backs coming up in Dalvin Cook next week. And then obviously, and then Saquon Barkley on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, man.
I mean, things don't look pretty. And when you start looking at this, and I know the NFC is probably down a little bit, but the Cowboys are 6-3. Eagles win tonight. Yep. They're 3 games behind them. I mean, the playoffs are looking a little iffy.
Guys, let me tell you how you help your run defense. Okay, when you know it's bad. Run the damn football on offense.
Yes, sir.
Why hasn't Dallas been exposed? Dallas hadn't defended the run well at all this season.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the first game they done struggled against the run. But you know what nullified that? Dallas ran the ball well. And they owned time of possession. They were able to score off of play action. But this game, we wanted to throw the damn ball all across the yard. In cold tail, I was finna curse. In cold tail Lambeau. and we wanted to be the damn Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills. And by the way, that's causing the Buffalo Bills to lose.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. So yeah, man, I hope they have a come to Jesus meeting with Kellen Moore and this offense and put a mandate on what should be done during these games. Dallas is one of the best running football teams in the NFL, and this man ran the ball 6 times with a 14-point lead, guys.
It's a fireable offense. Marcus Spears joining us here on the Blitz. Marcus, before we let you go, question for from the Bristol type 1,000-foot view. Dan Orlovsky, right? Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills blew one yesterday. Josh Allen hasn't been great in moments this year and has made some throws that were intercepted that you question. Yet nobody talks about Josh Allen not being that guy. Dak goes out and has a subpar game, and everybody wants to say, well, you can't win with Dak Prescott. Why does Josh Allen get treated differently than Dak Prescott after similar type performances and disappointing losses?
Because they like his pretty throws and his big physical running style and ain't won a damn thing. Listen, man, I'll tell you this. Josh Allen is uber talented. Josh Allen is a turnover machine. And it ain't just started this year. It started last year. But see, here's Dan's problem, guys. And don't hold it to Dan. Dan is one of those guys that hates to be wrong, okay? And I love him, and that's why we fight. Dan told us Carson Wentz was good 3 years after Carson Wentz was done. Okay, so when it comes to quarterbacks, he fixes in his mind what he likes about them, and he only focuses on that. And that's what he does. And when it comes to Dak, because he thought that Carson was better than Dak, he critiques and judges Dak a little bit harsher than everybody else. But it's okay because I'm here to get all of that fixed.
There you go.
When we have the discussion about Josh Allen tomorrow on TV, I will have that discussion. Josh Allen has thrown 6 interceptions in the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And they've lost 2 of the last 3. But all hell done broke loose in Dallas.
Well, that's it. And Buffalo's still going to the Super Bowl, and the Cowboys now might not make the playoffs. I don't know. Just set them straight, Marcus. But it's not just Dan. It seems everybody. And I know a lot of that is you got a star in your helmet. You're going to get extra criticism when it comes your way.
Yep. I got pissed off today. Guys, because everybody, I mean, y'all know TV and radio. You know what drives ratings?
Yeah.
The quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you could get on TV and see what Green Bay did to this defense and not say the defense is the reason we lost the game. I just don't understand it.
I hear you.
Marcus. They absolutely were.
Marcus Spears, watch him every day on ESPN. I imagine tomorrow on NFL Live.
I can't
We're
wait
gonna
to
see
watch
some
tomorrow.
fireworks. The Big Swagoo, Marcus, always appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, fellas. Y'all be well.